danger, suspense, courage, persistence, and triumphant love. Possibly just another afternoon spent digging red licorice out from between my teeth while watching pretend images whiz across the big screen at my local multiplex. More than likely. But then again, sometimes thrilling adventure can be witnessed in the most unexpected of places, actual reality. Sometimes the hero of the story can be 5 inches tall and covered in downy yellow fluff. This is a tale of real suspense, courage, and triumphant love. This is the true story of Downy, the yellow peep. It all began on a breezy Saturday afternoon in Idaho, with the sun playing peekaboo from behind mashed potato clouds. My teenage daughter Nina and I had decided to check out a property for sale about 15 miles north of Sandpoint. The hamlet of Sandpoint adorns the westernmost curve at the top of Lake Pend Oreille in the Idaho Panhandle. The name in French translates as Ring of Ear. Personally, I have always thought that it more aptly should be called Question Mark Lake, since the lake more resembles that punctuation than it does a human ear, plus it would be a lot easier to pronounce and a whole lot easier to spell. After a lunch of tuna sandwiches and salt and vinegar potato chips, we climbed into our tan 72 Dodge Dart, the latest experienced automobile given to us by my dad, Jack. Daddy, who was 73 at the time and still arguably the best mechanic this side of the Mississippi, had always supplied us with free vehicles. They unfailingly looked a little worse for wear, but were always in top running condition, and the price was right. The Dart's battery sticker was an exclamation, CRAP, Cut Rate Auto Parts. That battery could mystifyingly keep the headlights burning bright for an unlimited number of hours after the car had been turned off. It turned out to be a yacht battery. My dad is cool. When younger, he won first place in stock car races with the old jalopy that he had turned into a blur of speed, performed in a country music band, playing songs like the Tennessee Waltz and Hear That Lonesome Whippoorwill at Trestle Creek Inn near the tiny town of Hope, moved massive amounts of earth with a bulldozer, felled a scandalous amount of trees, built our home himself, including electric, plumbing, water well, etc., and wrote poetry to boot. In his 70s, he could often be found careening around sand dunes on the Oregon coast in a homely dune buggy that he had built from scratch. When the young whippersnappers with their shiny new buggies got stuck in the sand, my dad would graciously pull them out with his muscle buggy. Nina and I drove out of Sandpoint through the tiny suburb of Pend Oreille. It used to be an insignificant little village, but once the new Walmart went in, it gained in prestige. The trip was uneventful as we headed north in the direction of Bonner's Ferry, passing through truly idyllic countryside featuring lush stands of tangy fragranced evergreens and sunlit pastures with frolicking calves, colts, and fillies. I loved the place of my birth. Majestic mountains, enchanting forests, lakes, rivers, babbling brooks edged with glistening moss, rocky cliffs with splashing waterfalls, and a kaleidoscope of wildflowers. Truly magical. It used to be inhabited mostly by loggers and lumber mill workers and their families. Now it hosts wealthy entrepreneurs and movie stars. We were getting close to our destination when we saw the most delightful sight on the road just ahead of us. A mother and father goose were protectively ushering a column of downy little goslings across Highway 95 North. We slowed down and stopped to give them the right-of-way, just as if brightly vested sixth graders had walked across the road in front of us, holding out their hunter orange flags and tucked to the hand palms to stop traffic in a school zone. Noticing that there was an unpaved road branching off in the same direction that the little family was headed, we turned off the highway, and after driving 100 feet or so, we parked our car so that we could get out and watch them continue on their journey. After navigating safely across the highway and dirt road, the little gaggle proceeded to travel across an unfenced meadow and then began to climb an embankment which had been built up to carry the tracks for a railroad. As they were beginning to cross the tracks, my first thought was how lucky it was that no train was coming at that time. No sooner had that thought formed in my head, and almost as if on cue, I heard the loud warning whistle of a locomotive. I looked in the direction from which the threatening bellow came, and saw a train rounding a bend in the tracks, about half a mile south of where the little goose family was crossing the rails. Nina and I held our breath as we looked on in horror. The goose and gander sensed the danger and began frantically hustling their little brood over the tracks. The little goslings were no higher than the rails they were crossing, so it took some determination, it seemed, for them to climb and flutter over the man-made obstacle course. It appeared that the family was making it across just in time as the train came barreling down upon them, wheels rumbling heavily over the spot where they had been crossing. On closer inspection, we could see that not all family members had made it across the tracks in time. Next to the steel rail on which the train wheels were pounding their metal fury, a little yellow blur was pacing back and forth like a miniature cardboard duck in a carnival shooting gallery.